Hello, my little Mr. Billy D. Williams.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Great time the other night. I know you haven't called, though.
Yeah, I was gonna call, but my cousin Reggie, his car broke down. He drives an Oldsmobile. I think it's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible. Looks like it's here. Ring the bell. Let them know the box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock here in sunny Los Angeles, and the wonderful Danettes are joining us from Milford, Connecticut. Guys, there were some intense playoff games last night, but the topic of conversation turned to movie sequels early in the show. McLovin, why did you suggest that poll question today?
We saw the story this morning that Wesley Snipes just got out of jail and wants to do a White Men Can't Jump sequel. I'm not sure why he doesn't want to do another Blade movie or something a little more profitable, but Dan thought this was interesting.
Okay. Paula, you and Seaton are huge Irish fans. Can you even imagine what a Rudy sequel would look like?
Yeah, I can. Rudy trying to sell books, trying to milk Rudy 1 for all it's worth. No, that's actually real life.
Well, first of all, the first Rudy was real life, so let's be accurate.
Yeah,
the real question is, in the sequel, do we include Joe Montana or not?
Can I make a suggestion? I have a suggestion. How about it's about a star middle linebacker who falls in love with a fake girl, and the producers of Her can get involved with the producers of Rudy and make Rudy 2.
Like that.
What's really the most shocking about Rudy, the initial movie, and what would be followed up on is Jamie O'Hara goes from being a kind of a disappointment as a running back to a star comedian, and in a lot of movies like Swingers and Old School. A really good career for Jamie O'Hara.
American by now if he had. Anyway.
He did it for you, Rudy. You guys were joined by, pardon the interruptions, Michael Wilbon today, and Dan asked him to weigh in on the topic.
I'm not a sports movie guy. I just don't see them. I haven't seen most of them.
What about Rudy?
I never saw Rudy.
What?
Dan, almost never see sports. They just let me down. I don't bother.
Mike, Rudy is a documentary.
Man, I don't know what that reaction was all about. I was genuinely shocked, though. I mean, I don't know how you can live in 2014 and have not seen Rudy. It's like he's been on Mars or something. Yeah.
First of all, it was great to have Scott Farrell back on the show. It was weird because Wilbon is a Chicago guy. You'd almost think it's an obligation. He's from the South Side, too. I mean, I think I saw this in a high school class, and it came out after I left high school.
It should be like required viewing for all Americans.
Yeah.
Fritzy, you offered up some mock headlines of possible movie sequels, and they were met with this reaction. Now, soon after that bomb, we caught this on camera. Paulie and Seaton sharing a laugh in the front row. Seaton, what was going on here?
Paul had said to me, hopefully that segment doesn't have a sequel. And it was pretty terrible. It was about as big a swing and miss as you can have on the show. I think. No offense, Todd.
No offense.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't have a sequel.
I thought there was a couple of decent ones in there, but
what was the one that was decent?
I don't even remember.
Honestly,
I don't expect that much support. It's got to be really a home run for anyone.
It's got to be
get
just
a fake laugh.
remotely funny.
I honestly did think there weren't as many like punchlines as usual. Like one of them was Sandlot 2.
I gave it a shot. I tried to do something creative,
which is an actual movie.
They don't always.
They made it
work out.
Well, we don't want to see a follow-up to Rudy anytime soon, but there have been some classics that you guys have grown up with over the years. Let's quickly test your knowledge. I will give you a big screen classic, and you tell me the full title of its sequel. Ready? Here we go.
Ooh.
Seaton, first one is for you. What was the sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark?
The sequel to Raiders, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Was it Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Yes, it was. Bravo. McLovin, use your nerdy intelligence and tell us what the sequel was to the 1979 motion picture of Star Trek.
Oh, Wrath of Khan. Duh, best Star Trek sequel ever.
Okay. Was it?
Oh, full title. Star Trek Wrath of Khan.
Was it Star Trek Wrath of Khan? No, I'm sorry, it was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Forgot a title in there.
Oh, Andrew, you're totally losing your card right now.
Fritzy, this one is right up your alley. Khan! What movie followed in the footsteps of the 1984 classic Breakin'?
That would be Breakin' 2, The Electric Boogaloo.
Was it Breakin' 2, The Electric Boogaloo? Yes, it was. Wow, what a poster.
Is it The Electric Boogaloo or Electric Boogaloo?
You're right. Paulie is technically correct, so
Electric.
technically he was wrong. Judges pass it. And finally, Paulie, Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "I'll be back." And he was with this sequel to the 1984 hit, The Terminator. What was it?
Ooh.
Terminator 2, Rise of the Machines?
Terminator. Was it Terminator 2,
I don't know.
Rise of the Machines? No, it was
I don't think I
Terminator 2,
right.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I didn't know
done,
that one.
gentlemen. I think
Everybody
Fritzy.
calls it. Yeah.
We're just getting started here on the box score. When we come back, we'll see what Norm Macdonald said that had the guys cracking up, and poor Fritzy gets lit up by Dan Nation. Stay tuned. Oh, welcome back to the box score. Adam Sandler will join us in the New York City Man Cave tomorrow. But you had another comedian providing laughs today as Norm Macdonald joined the show. Seton, is he one of your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like him a lot more if he ever followed me on Twitter like he does all these other guys, but whatever, I've moved past it.
That's all. Yeah, well, let's move on. He and DP seem to have a lot of fun, especially when Norm's encounter with Bill Cosby came up.
The man has to become the phone number for the man. So then he gives me a piece of paper, you know, to write down my dad's phone number. Yeah. And then he says, the man needs pen with paper with pen. So then the guy gets a pen. So then at that point, I remember my dad has been dead for 15 years. So, but I didn't want to tell him. I didn't want to say, oh, yeah, my dad's dead, and then ruin the fun moment.
I really like Norm's delivery and style as much as his actual comedy, I guess you'd say. I listen to him a lot when he's on the Howard Stern show, and he's kind of got he kind of delays everything, and he's got a non-traditional delivery that I love. It got racy early. He made a Michael Sam joke. I was like, oh man, if it's one, I think we'll be okay. If he starts to just go, what do we do here? I mean, I was thinking to myself, what if he just goes nuts? Does Dan just say, hey, take care? Because it was the first minute of the interview. He made a really off-color joke that, you know, in the comedic world was a very good joke, but in the sports radio world may not translate as well. So it was tense, but it worked out pretty well.
Okay. Well, Fritzy, did you or any of the other Danettes get uncomfortable when the boss kept asking Norm about his relationship with Julia Roberts?
I'm glad Dan did, because as Paulie referred to, you know, he got things going with an off-color type joke, and so Dan was, you know, kind of returning serve with putting Norm on the spot. But yeah, it was a little awkward, but he's a big boy, he's a comedian, he's been heckled all over the country, I'm sure, in his stand-up acts, so ultimately, you know, it was cool to see Dan put him on the spot and try to find out more information about what he and Julia Roberts.
Here's what I don't understand, guys. I think I'm speaking for all of us. If I had dated a young Julia Roberts, I would have a billboard in front of my house that said it. I would have it tattooed on my chest. I would never go, no, I don't want to talk about that. I mean, I don't know if Norm is married or not, but let's assume he is. Well, I mean, his wife knows he has a past, and it's not like he dated Portia from the Bunny Ranch. He dated Julia Roberts when she was in her 20s. I mean, trumpet that.
Yeah, unless he's trying to be a gentleman.
A long time ago.
Yeah. And if it's the last week, then it's an even better story. But if it's 1992, then
I don't really know why he clammed up there.
There might have been his attempt to be like he was being a gentleman, didn't want to kiss and tell.
Oh,
and
he's a gentleman.
say anything about Julia Roberts that she may not approve of.
I don't think Julia Roberts is that hot. I'm just going to throw it out there. A little overrated.
Well, let me make a point. Portia, you can date her, and it's $500 an hour, and well worth it. Seton, you had that uncomfortable feeling today when Mike Florio and DP talked about marijuana, and just like clockwork, the camera seemed to find you during the discussion. Fritzy, you're the king of the bomb.
Yeah.
Is Seton the king of the bong?
Wow. Yeah, well, I don't really know how to answer that. Paulie calls me the Bob Knight of weed for some reason, which I think is a compliment.
Yeah, it's like, remember when refs used to make any calls against Indiana, they'd always turn the camera right to Bob Knight. And the thing about Seton is, I could verify he doesn't smoke anymore. And so, you know, with all this attention that's being put towards him for being blamed for everything or targeted as a weeder, he might as well smoke.
A weeder, yeah, it is true. I really don't smoke. And it is funny that I'm sort of the pothead of the group, but hey, I'll take it, man. Somebody's got to be, right?
Well, Seton, you also seemed uncomfortable when Dan was firing the football at you during one of the breaks, which led to this happening.
I think the shoulder's back in form. Ah! All right. How fast did that go? 36. You got to zip it a little.
I'm enjoying the hell out of this.
His coffee just went all over.
Oh, it's all over the ball.
You can't put your coffee on that side of the table. That's
not good.
Yeah, man. Those balls had a little zip to them, and I was kind of seeing double still from last night, so my eyes really hadn't adjusted, and for some reason, I think the football was painted pink, which was kind of distracting, and then Dan whizzing that thing from like 15 feet away. It was a little tough to get your hands on the ball, especially when you're running out of the way of it. But Tuz has got to know better than to leave his coffee right there on the edge. I mean, there's balls flying all over the place over there.
Yeah. Whoa. You know, I tell you, Brock, Seton's right. Day one, when you board up a radio studio or anywhere in a TV studio, no open drinks anywhere near the console, anywhere near your equipment. So if you have a drink without a cover on it in a TV or radio studio, you're a moron.
All right, Tuz, get yourself a sippy
I've
cup.
got 4 bottles of water on my desk here, but we'll just ignore those.
That's fine. This isn't the first time the boss has destroyed some coffee. Let's flash back a few years ago when his trick shot took a left turn and took out this cup of Java. McLovin, as our resident spill expert, is DP trying to one-up you?
Yeah, Dan has no regard for coffee. I've been actually become more careful. I try to drink most of it, so I'm more of a water spiller these days. But I mean, everyone knows. I think the biggest accident still in the studio was not really Dan when Paulie kicked that soccer ball that bounced off something and took out a big flat screen TV.
Yeah, I was planning on stealing that TV and taking it home, so that really stunk.
Yeah, we've all ruined material, but yeah, no. Dan is definitely one of the many people who destroys the studio.
For some reason, though, it's like when Dan does it, it's like, no big deal.
Yeah.
Like, if it was me who just randomly winged that ball over my shoulder and it busted up all of Tuz's coffee and made that gigantic spill, I'd never hear the end of it.
That's our life. That's our lives in a nutshell.
Hey,
yeah.
All right.
All right, guys, let's take a break. Coming up, we'll see what the Danettes sleep number is when they decide to become bed buddies. What? We'll explain in just a minute. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History.
Hold him like a butterfly.
Like this?
Oh my.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. Welcome back to the Box Score. Seton, you and the boss sharing an intimate moment there in the golf simulator. He was actually ripping your swing today, though. How annoying was that?
It's mildly annoying. What's more annoying, though, is that he's right and my swing totally sucks. So after all this time, I would like to start getting better at golf, but apparently the golf gods hate me, so whatever.
Dan and Seton love getting close, but we were just wondering just how close the four of you were. Let's say you were on the road and hotel reservations were mixed up, and you had to share a bed with your fellow Danette. Who would you choose? I think this is a perfect opportunity to play.
No! Your
Let's begin in the back row. McLovin, which Danette did Fritzy want to snuggle with?
Want to.
Probably me, because he's so used to being close to me here in the back row. It would make the most sense.
Was it you, McLovin?
I'm going to probably go with Seton. Do you need an explanation? Paulie would make snarky comments all night that would rub me the wrong way. McLovin chews very loudly, and I'm thinking he probably snores, as do I. So Seton seems like the safe way to go.
Whoa, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, I was debating. You know, he makes a good point, McLovin, and I was initially leaning that way, but then the more I thought about it,
Seaton's very snuggly. I kind of get that.
Seaton would be, you know, we can cuddle.
I'm flattered by that very much, by the way. But I don't. McLovin chews very loudly. Jeepers.
Coming from Fritzy, that's gutsy.
Shots fired.
Front row, Seaton. Who do you think Paulie wanted to shack up with?
I'm going to say Andrew McLovin Perloff III.
Was it Andrew McLovin Perloff III?
Well, I have some history here. Back when times were tough and the budget was tight, Seaton and I had to share a hotel room, not a bed. He's a good roommate. He separates. He goes to as far physically as he could into either side of the room. Kept to his own quarters. He was respectful. Fritzy, oh my God, the guy doesn't wear pants, but he wears shirts in his own hotel rooms. I would rather sleep outside on the street than sleep with Fritzy. Yeah, that's actually factually true. I would rather sleep outside on a hard street surface than Fritzy. It's probably cleaner. No, Seaton is not a touchy-feely guy. We could be in a what do they call a single bed? Yeah. We could be in a single bed, and I guarantee you, we would not make physical contact.
There would be zero.
Look, we sit next to each other. For some reason, they have us sitting this close to each other on here. We never ever make physical contact, and if we do, we jump back like it's a cow
like a
fence.
shock. Ooh.
Well, let's go to Mr. Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin'. Fritzy, who do you think McLovin would want to get in the sack with?
That was nice. I enjoyed that, but I'm going to say McLovin's going to go where he may have already tipped his hand talking about that Seaton can be cuddly. I think he's had more than enough of me and our knees rubbing up against one another, sometimes accidentally, sometimes not during the course of the show. I'm going to go Seaton for McLovin's choice.
Was it cuddly Seaton?
If suicide is not an option, I guess, well, I'm going to have to go Fritzy because I've already had so much man-on-man contact with Fritzy. There's nothing new that can happen in a strange hotel bed. It's true.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
That knee thing isn't an accident.
No, it's not. Well, I'm sure you accidentally bang into my knee, but there are some occasions where I need a little affection during the course of the show.
Yeah.
Guest is running late or there's static on the line, and my knee may accidentally bang into your knee because I just need a moment.
I wonder if they pick up the mic where I'm saying, Fritzy, that's not my knee in the middle of the show. It's weird.
Now I feel bad that I didn't pick you.
Ooh, okay. And finally, Paulie, who did Seaton want to spoon with?
Nobody. He doesn't want to spoon with anybody, but I would say I think he's going to take me for similar reasons. He knows I'm not a touchy guy. I'm a shower, a big shower, and yeah, I think me by default.
Was it a very clean Paul?
It can't be Fritzy because, frankly, I just think there's a lot of really gross things that happen there. Oh man, is it Paul or? You know what? It's gonna be Andrew, because frankly, I'm kind of close to the guy, and I really wouldn't mind snuggling up to him if it just so happened in the middle of the night. Weird. You know, Paul and I have already slept together.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I'm one and done.
Yeah, that's it. I want to move on to something new, and Andrew and I are very close, and frankly, the guy's a hunk, so who doesn't want to share a bed with that?
Just another notch on the bedpost. Well, no one got anything right today. Paulie, nobody picked you. What do you think that happened?
I couldn't be more happier about that. That's the nicest news I've gotten today. I don't want any of the guys to want to sleep with me, and they're going to have to fight to do it.
Paulie, then you are the winner. We'll have more in just a moment as our fashionista McLovin tries to make some sense of what the Danettes don in the man cave. Come on back.
From Tommy in Tempe. Could you remind Fritzy that he's on HDTV? I really need to drop the homeless guy and maybe shave occasionally. It might be a fun job, but it's still a job.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
Tommy in Tempe.
That's pretty rough.
Welcome back to the box score. Wow, Dan Nation not always kind to the Danettes. McLovin is our resident sharp-dressed Danette. Why do you think that fan singled out Fritzy, and how do you rate Paulie and Seaton's attire?
That was not about attire. It's the way Fritzy, when Fritzy doesn't shave, it doesn't look like cool Williamsburg hipster. It looks more like, take this the right way.
Go ahead.
It looks like Burt Young and Rocky, kind of like.
Burt Young reference.
Yeah, like, oh man, I've been in the office all day. You know, it looks like a 5 o'clock shadow. It doesn't come in like Brett Favre-ish, you know.
Do I look like I don't have a place to live, though?
Yeah, like.
Do I look like I was laying on a bench, on a park
You
bench?
definitely
at
look like a
playground?
guy who lost the mortgage at the track.
Yes.
You look like everybody at OTB.
Yeah, like you should be wearing like a hat with a brown suit with the collar open.
But of all the emails that come in talking about on all the things going on in the world of sports, so like why do you think there would be one about that I look like a
Is this
homeless
your, hey,
person?
what, is this your first day at the Dan Patrick Show? Nice to meet you, Todd. Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Congratulations.
figure out we get a lot of emails. And we have like the power over. They don't magically go on the air.
So if Fritzy's saying I hand-picked this email, is that kind of what you're saying?
I'm pretty much saying that.
Okay, that's fair, and that's fair. I do have control of the email, so you know what? I'm going to yield control of the email for the next month to Todd. So Todd can check the email account and pick whatever.
No. Excuse me. Let me finish. Emails. They're looked at and read.
Sure, no sweat. And so Fritzy will be in charge of the emails for the next month. I'll let Dan know.
Well, we here in LA don't really think Fritzy looks anything close to homeless unless we use Photoshop to make magic happen. Fritzy, what would those boxes be filled with?
Based on our previous conversations about such things, there'd probably be, I guess, lotion towels. We'll have to get that out of the way. And there'll probably be some cold slices of pepperoni pizza, and you'd probably see some lo mein and fried rice in there. And then, you know, certainly wouldn't be seeing any underwear or anything like that.
Before we go, Seton, Dan couldn't stop praising Breaking Bad today, but he did break a cardinal rule. Tell us about it.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, the way a spoiler alert works is that you say spoiler alert and then give away the ending, not give away the ending and then say spoiler alert. That's kind of too late at that point, and there were a lot of people very upset with Dan.
That was like the Tarantino movie of spoiler alerts. He misplaced everything.
Doofus.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, hey, homeless guy, who's on tomorrow?
Adam Sandler, the Sandman, will join us in studio for his new movie, Blended, and also in the New York City Man Cave, Mr. John Smoltz, who shares a birthday with Dan Patrick, whose their birthdays are tomorrow, so the timing works out very nicely with that.
Thanks for watching The Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!